Some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stare, just look up, don't stare. Turning back, I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stare, just look up, don't stare. Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stare, just look up, don't stare. 'Cause 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 I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Step it up, don't be scared. love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just let me know. Don't
Good evening and welcome one and all to this Star Trek Resurgence stream here on both YouTube and Twitch. I am your host Mike. Sorry for the delay. I was trying to also stream this over on Kick, but for some reason it is not working on that side, so I'll have to troubleshoot it after the stream. But I'm going to go with 2 out of 3 streaming platforms with Star Trek Resurgence here, and we will see what this game's all about. Now, this game was developed by former Telltale team members, and I've played several Telltale games, a couple of them being the Batman Telltale series, also Back to the Future the game, and the Walking Dead series that they also made. So this should be a lot of fun, especially for anyone else who's ever played a Telltale game and pretty much knows that their games are all about making the right choices, and you know, whatever choice you do make does affect the outcome of the story. But I do want to say hello to Apollome's Minion and Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Hope you're doing well. And let's get underway here. Let's find out what this game is all about. Everything looks good on both the YouTube and Twitch side. And of course, this is a Dramatic Labs adventure, the relationships and events you're about to experience. And of course, I didn't read it fast enough, but anyways, here we go. Now, will this game live up to the legacy of Star Trek? Meaning, will we get a story that not only looks like Star Trek, but feels like Star Trek?
The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. That's more than any of them.
Well,
Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same.
at least it looks like a Starfleet shuttle.
The nature of the universe.
Starfleet shuttle of the 24th, early 25th century.
Order gives way to chaos. In this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute.
So our starship's name is the Resolute.
Now she'll bring
And now we're being introduced to Jar Rydick. It's a little bumpy ride. Hopefully the shields will hold. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. I hit it, but it didn't work because the controller's not working. Ah, crap. Ah, crap, man. Not a good way to start off my Starfleet career. Oh, man. Here, hold on. Hold on while I fix this. Hold up. Let me fix it, folks. All right, got it working. That's not a good way to start off my Starfleet career.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna say don't close your eyes.
Tip, don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it easier, but it only makes it worse. Look out the window, pick a star, and just focus on that.
I'll give it a try. Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
Well, Mr. McCracken, nice to see that you reported for duty.
It won't be easy for Chara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was
And
at Starfleet,
Mr. McCracken,
she'll be the
if you want to be assimilated by the Borg, I'm sure we could find a way to contact a Borg cube. And you're seeing some familiar class ships. There's an Excelsior class. You saw a Nova class and a Saber class starship. All right, so check in at security. All right, let's walk down the corridor.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. A long way from home now.
I've heard a rumor that the D is actually in this game. In what capacity? We'll find out.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. in the history of the Academy. So, there's that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind
Again, with this game, like any Telltale game, if you've ever played a Telltale game in the past, they give you 3 different choices, sometimes 4 different choices as far as your character's response. And depending on what you choose, it determines the outcome. All right. I'm not going to put down Captain Kirk. Why would I put down Captain Kirk?
absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really...
By the way, Phil, tomorrow's Pop Talk is an open panel,
I didn't realize before.
and
I just...
you're more than welcome to join as always, brother.
Solid ground,
Because we're also going to be
so to speak.
celebrating 400 subscribers.
Well, now you know. Keep your eyes and ears open and you might pick up on things.
I believe Commander Ermont is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
All right, let's continue walking down this corridor. Find Commander Ermont. Sounds like he might be a Bolian. I don't know. Sounds like a name I would give a Bolian.
Good day, Commander.
Of course he will. He'll be there. Baron will be there.
Remember my briefing. Commander Ermont is a Bolian. So I'm
Okay, so he is a Bolian. Like I said, it just sounded like a name you would give a Bolian, and all right. Hey, crewman. Yo.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me.
As you can tell, this takes place in the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager era. Now, how many years after the Dominion War? Judging by the start date, and it's probably a couple years after the Dominion War. Okay. I'll be available. If you want to talk in our usual Discord, we can. All right, so let's go over here and examine the information. Okay, so we just learned that Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Okay,
Excuse me.
and this might be Umot. Why? Because he's a Bolian. And if you are watching over on Twitch, welcome. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, welcome. Okay, Ormont.
I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
I'll do my best to live up to expectations.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do just fine. And if I can help in any way, just let me know.
And there's the Resolute.
The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own.
How's it sound, everybody?
So bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment.
And Suitable Substrate, thank you for following over on the Twitch side. I greatly appreciate it.
It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but
And hello, Padawannabe.
cost us our first officer and
I know Star Wars Day is coming, Padawannabe.
of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
To have lost so many lives.
But is to answer your question,
To pay.
it's perfectly fine because I happen to like both Star Wars and Star Trek.
To work. And make sure it never happens again.
But I am looking forward to the Star Wars stream this Thursday, and
Realize you've known Captain
I think it's going to be a fun conversation for everybody involved.
You're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
You know what? I'm going to try this response.
All due respect to anyone that feels that way. They're gonna have to get over it. I'm here, and I have a job to do, just like anyone else.
That's true, but I wouldn't say it like that. Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
And now we're meeting our other crew member. So we've met our first officer, and now we've got a new crew member to meet. So the premise of this is that you play as two different characters, you know, in their own A plot and B plot, just like you would get in Next Generation episodes, original series episodes, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. And in all, every story that, you know, these two characters go through will connect at some point. So now we have the plasma torch. And now we got to clear the corrosion. So I'm going to go to this first point. I'm going to vaporize it. Okay. That was easy. All right, we got the second point. And now to the third point. And there we go. And Apollomedes is saying hello to Padawannabe and Brandon. Let's pull this out. All right. Well, that definitely needs repair. Or they might just recycle it into the replicator. All right, so
Is that?
there we go. The lower decks. And it's not referring to the 7th season TNG episode or the series that's called Lower Decks.
Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Millie.
So, Carter Diaz and Neely.
Down in engineering, like now.
All right, let's get down to engineering. See the transporter in action? Please, come on.
Hey Diaz, can you give us some help with the transporter?
Yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to.
We need to test this cargo transporter. I've never been that great with the signal plotting.
I got it. No problem.
Come on.
All right, it says select waypoints to create a path through the ionic interference. The line connecting the points will lose stability if it passes through the interference. The yellow bar indicates the stability of your path. When full, you will succeed. Use R to aim and hold the right trigger to select and drag waypoints. And I want to say hello to DJ Ronnie G. All right, so let's go ahead and resume. So I got to clear this waypoint here. So let's move that. That. Hold on, Neely. I'm helping out the transporter operator.
No sweat. Whoa, hey, buddy, get off the pad.
Well, that's an unexpected transport.
Don't tell Chovak.
Not a word.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's meet up with Neely.
Time's wasted.
All right, let's go. She's in such a hurry. Have you ever played any of the Telltale games, DJ Ronnie G? You know, The Walking Dead or Back to the Future, their Batman, or maybe their Game of Thrones game, among a few others?
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
What's the matter, Neely? Afraid of a little hard work?
A little hard work? Really? A little? 6 months of putting this ship back together is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and here we are. Just about ready to go.
All right. And I'll be honest, DJ Ronnie G, that was one of
Got here before.
the factors that, you know, was appealing about this game to me. Was that it wasn't Star Trek Online. Nothing against Star Trek Online. I like to play it, but I've also gotten to the point where I played it so much got burned out.
On deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you.
And you haven't tried any of those. Well,
Forced to make to Petty Officer Exelon.
give them a try at some point if you can find them.
Commander Chovak, isn't it true that if we were almost late, it categorically means that we were not late?
That is correct, Mr. Diaz.
I mean, if anything, Etzelar and I are following the schedule to the letter.
Yes, perhaps I should adjust the schedule accordingly.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in?
No, this is not STO. This is a brand new game that was released today. It was supposed to come out last summer, but they delayed the game because they needed to work on a few things. And it's available on Epic Games. And right now they're having a 25% off sale, so you basically get a $10 off coupon. And its normal retail price is $40, and with that
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz.
discount coupon, you can pretty much get it for $32.01. That's what I ended up paying for it, and I think that's pretty good. And so far, I'm not noticing any stuttering, any glitches, any errors in the game, unlike Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which has had those problems. I am going to continue playing Jedi Survivor, of course, and also play Scars Above.
You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
Yeah.
6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing.
And when I, watched the beta video and also showed it on Pop Talk last year, it looked good for a beta, but you could tell it needed some cleaning up.
It's gotta be tough.
And if you're watching over on the Twitch side, hello. Hope you're having a great Tuesday and hope you're enjoying this gameplay so far.
You've been through a whole hell of a lot as a crew. They're gonna have to prove themselves before they're really one of us.
Yeah, you're right. Anyone could look serious in a clean uniform. Show me what you can do when everything's falling apart. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Nighthawk, welcome.
It's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we
Yep, I have seen Star Trek Borg. When that game originally came out in the 90s, I wanted to buy it, but unfortunately, the computer I had at the time, which was our family computer, didn't meet the specs.
Security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
All right, they've engaged the force field. Now we're going to do a little spacewalk here. All right, boots are magnetized. And now we're going out of the airlock. And what do you see there beyond the airlock? You see a Miranda class starship. All right. Here we go.
Have you never gets old?
Let's go.
There's a Steamrunner class starship. All hands. So, and this is what this game does. You'll be going back and forth between these two characters and their respective stories that end up meeting up together.
I don't know much about Kobleods, but my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Okay, so these are our quarters. She's making sure she looks prim and proper. Looks like the model Starfleet officer. Let's go ahead and use the replicator.
Just a sip of something.
Rectigina, why not?
Decisions.
Need some clean on coffee to kickstart your day. I don't know why I used the transporter sound effect instead of the replicator sound effect, but oh well.
That sure has a kick.
I did say kickstart your day.
Jara Ryder. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career? Right there, within our grasp. Till it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense,
This already has the feel of genuine Star Trek.
Deal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day,
Hello, Gap. Gap.
look,
I don't know if you heard me say it, but
can't afford another mistake,
I'm only
or at least
almost 40 minutes into this stream
hanging in the
and into this game, and this already feels like genuine Star Trek.
something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
More positive note. Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also...
If you all could do me a favor while you're here, please make sure to smash that like button and share out the stream.
Storm. Our long-range sensors suggested several orders of
Open hailing frequencies.
on record.
All subspace channels.
Anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be
Yeah, me too.
great. but the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
Thank you, but I feel like I still have so much to learn.
You'll have plenty of opportunity. And if you're willing to put in the work, I'll do everything in my power to help you along the way.
And please excuse me if I don't say much during the gameplay. I just trying to let the story play out and let the characters speak their dialogue. All right. Now we're on the bridge. Well, Lieutenant Commander Woopa, welcome aboard.
Your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business. One of? Well, what he lacks in humility.
We've got a Bajorn.
More than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer.
Ah, Mr. Westbrook.
Expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek.
Always like science officers.
Meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian. We've been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career...
And yes, I'm going to try to be as much of a Starfleet officer with my responses as possible.
...defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
Imagine
And then,
Starfleet officers acting like Starfleet officers.
please do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here.
No, none at all so far, Gap.
An urgent meeting with the Starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Sit in the captain's chair when ready. Yeah. Take a look around the bridge.
So
The master systems display.
full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Yeah. Engineering. I'm just gonna look around. I'm gonna look around the bridge. All right. Oh, we're not ready to go yet. Mission ops.
Communications keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Nah. Starfleet officers are the best of the best.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. comes to that, we'll be ready.
Starfleet officers are consummate professionals. They know what they have to do,
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel.
and they do what they can to fulfill their mission
Westbrook's attitude.
and to help others
To speak with him later.
throughout the galaxy, not just in the Alpha and Beta Quadrant or Gamma Quadrant or Delta Quadrant, but wherever their mission takes them, boldly going where no one has gone before. All right.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers.
So we're finding out what class ship Resolute is. It's a Centaur class. Now, can I look around just one more area? Yeah. All right, am I not in the right position? No.
Operations, staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
All right, I think we're ready to sit in the captain's chair.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Proceed.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
All right, so now we're getting to the other part of the story. Like I said, and in case anyone's just joining us, what this game does is you get the A plot, you get the B plot, and they coincide. So now we're going to perform some maintenance on the outer hull.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Now, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
That's what any Starfleet officer wants to do.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the Sif emitter.
It's like Picard. He looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. It wasn't to escape a home life. It was to find out what's out there. All right, so which one of these tools can I use? All right, let's calibrate it.
Beginning recalibration.
Okay, 2 nodes to center the circular indicators, and I have to use the right analog and the trigger.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
All right, come on.
Light touch, Carter.
Come on, let's do this. I was already on that side. Come on, game. All right, let's try it over here if I can. All right, let's. Whoa, wait. Trying to get it back over there. Oh, come on. All right, let's move it up there, and then come on. All right, come on, Carter. And I just moved it back there, and I didn't want to. All right, come on. All right, that didn't work. Hello, Alan Copeland. How are you? All right, come on. Nope.
Looks good. That wasn't
All right, got it.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
Oh, she's the first officer. She should know
Yes, I'm
the name of each and every crewman on board.
dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Hey, we just met. You might like me after you get to know me.
They say familiarity breeds contempt, but who knows? Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, Let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen.
Okay, so the commander expects his first officer to fulfill the role of first officer, but in doing so, he wants the new first officer to be just like the previous one. Uh-oh.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound on screen.
Tracing its trajectory. Starbase docking clamps are holding. The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
Get those crew members out of there.
Abnormalities all over the ship.
Estimated time to impact. 2.
Red alert.
Aye.
I'm not gonna waste time.
Evacuating main gangway and retracting. Putting sensor visualization on screen. With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection. I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't
Ray shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up. Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot. Understood. On my command.
All right.
Heading locked. Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
All right. You see how the different decisions from one character affects the mission of the other character?
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Yes.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
All right, let's do that then. Take one isolinear chip and put it in another slot, and take the other isolinear chip and put it in the slot.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
What if the discharge is coalesced?
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
All right. Use Y to equip the phaser. L trigger to aim. There we go.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but you know.
All right. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah. Took most. Snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
Gotta get rid of this plasma here. God, yeah.
That hurt.
Do not get hit again.
Okay.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Yeah. Typical Vulcan. All right.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
All right. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, choke up.
The starbase got hit. And the docking clamp is releasing.
Get down! DS to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working. What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put them through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Chara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
Let's hope I make the right decision, everyone.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
All right.
There is protocol.
And there are lives. Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
I'm gonna give it a shot. Captain may not like it, but He's not on board. He doesn't know the whole situation.
We are going to reverse whole polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1.
I got it too close there.
Grab my hand. I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
All right. Come on. Move, you blasted. Gotta get this lever to move. If I don't get this moved, then we're gonna have a warp core breach.
Look out!
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
All right, let's go.
Going there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Gotta move.
You go first.
No, nope.
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Nope.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Come on.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
And in case anyone doesn't know what the SIF is, it's the structural integrity field. Price of duty. Now, when Telltale Games was around, they used to release episodes like this once every few months, and
Help me with him.
especially when it came to Back to the Future, because that was the first Telltale game I actually ever played. You had to wait almost a whole year for the whole story to be released.
Wounded at my location. Carter, you don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm ready you two get blown to dust just yet.
Just took a sip of water and went down the wrong way.
Great.
Ah.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the...
I can turn that up, Gap. Give me a second. Let's see. Settings. See, I turned the master volume down because I didn't want it to be too loud because, you know, some games, whenever you're streaming them, and I've had this happen, are just too loud.
Send updates to my ready room.
How's that?
Right, Ick? With me.
Well, thing is, Gap, I used it to drink the water, but it came up my nose.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders. And
Wow.
not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your...
Yeah, it is.
Put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit.
And already noticing some of the background of the captain's ready room, you're getting to know what the captain's into. There's a steam locomotive in the background.
You never really know if you weren't in.
So that's more character development than we've gotten in recent Trek.
Just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Vatari.
Yes, sir.
All right. NCC 82317. That's the Resolute's registry number.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge. Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one.
Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, thank you very much.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Huh. Sounds like James Horner's Wrath of Khan score, doesn't it? And there she goes. 4 impulse engines.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me? Helm. Make way.
And we're engaging at Warp 8.
Wait,
It's a sailing term.
I know that.
Yeah, it is. I've got a smile on my face.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Uh-oh. Our monitor is telling her she needs to get to sick bay.
Go.
help me get her inside.
I mean, you know, for a regularly priced $40 game, it looks very good for that price, and I haven't noticed any issues so far.
There. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval.
And that's Deborah Wilson, who also voices Sierra in
I've never met a Cobra.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor.
I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It does make me unique, but it's not a burden at all. I'm honored to be Kobliad, to represent my people.
As you should be. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of the crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good.
And I think this was one of the reasons why they delayed it for over a year, because they weren't satisfied with how it looked.
Now he's even further away from the thing he's been.
And I even said it earlier in the stream, EA could learn from them.
The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
We all have to chase our dreams, don't we? We need to take some risks. Isn't that why we joined Starfleet?
But not at the expense of other people's lives. It's too high a price to pay. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized.
And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
And notice how they modeled this sickbay after Voyager sickbay in certain aspects.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I don't want anyone to worry. This is just part of who I am. It doesn't define me.
Of course. I completely understand. And I would probably feel the same way if I were you.
I mean, right now, I'm gonna be honest with everybody. If you're into games like this,
I want you to know that I have your back.
and especially good Star Trek games, I would highly recommend picking it up. Like I said, it's on Epic Games, and they have a 25% off coupon
Now, Carter,
promotion going on right now until June 15th, I believe.
else that goes with this storm.
So, you know, this game retails at $39.99, so $40, so you get $10 off, and with tax, I ended up paying $32.01. So,
She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
if you're interested, again, I would pick it up.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
I hear you've been checking in on me. Thanks for that.
One of the benefits of working a security rotation. Lots of opportunities to walk by sickbay and stop in. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you, instead of tiptoeing around it.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Well, then come on.
Unfortunately, I don't know if they're gonna release a physical edition. You know, everything now is digital, and that's basically how you have to download this game.
I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure.
Well, I just mean, seeing me in here, after we almost got killed out on the hull.
I felt this way before that, Carter. I like you. And I think there could be something more for us. So, what do you say?
I like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
Look, a romance.
I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorry to...
They're not belittling each other.
The patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
I wonder if this ship has an EMH. And look, a ship actually traveling at warp.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
I know you don't have that problem, Phil. You live in Delaware, tax-free.
Shield integrity holding. We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain.
All right.
Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
All right, let's spin around the left analog stick. There we go.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
That's a shuttlecraft from the movie era. The original series movie era.
We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening. Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
No, unfortunately, it's not on Steam, Phil. It's only available on Epic, or if you have a PS5 or Xbox Series S and X.
You sure?
I'm sure. Come on, Diaz.
All right, we got a tractor in the shuttle.
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
All right. Let's lock on. Okay. We got a stable lock.
We're pulling in debris. I'm on it.
All right. Let's get rid of this big boy here. All right, get rid of this one here. And get rid of this one right behind the shuttlecraft. All right, come on. All right, game. There we go. I didn't want to do that.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Here's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
All right. There we go.
Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17, 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa. Someone's working hard on the bridge.
And the actual tractor beam sound, it actually looks like a tractor beam. Pulling the shuttle into the shuttle bay. That was a rough landing there.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
And now the shuttle bay door is opening. Who is it?
Terra firma, so to speak.
Spock.
Ambassador Spock. The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
You know, the voice actor that's doing Spock isn't doing a bad job for the little bit I've heard so far.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
It was not the smoothest transit, but you got us here safely. That is what matters. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed.
Exactly, Gap.
To find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Provocation to war. All right, they're in the briefing room.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago.
Again, some backstory.
This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Illydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions flaring on both sides, no doubt.
Neither the Illydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
Nope.
There is an additional complication.
They'd be going against the Prime Directive if they did.
In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We could use that as leverage with the Illydians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that, Commander.
putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the iridium-dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Elydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
Yes, we do.
Strict timetable here.
We do understand the circumstances, don't we, ladies and gentlemen?
Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do.
Yeah, it is.
Official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for
And it
example,
does have
would not
a Star
follow
Trek
those
feel to it.
Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes.
More than any recent show.
More candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly knows how to say the right things. At least when she wants to. It would be unconventional.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
All right, I thought that went pretty smoothly. Now we've dropped out of warp. Navigational complexities. Well, no wonder that shuttlecraft looks like it's from the motion picture era.
Discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It's a shuttlecraft Grayson from the Excelsior.
Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
When you look at it logically, yes, it is just a shuttle. No different than any of the others.
There is plenty that is different about it, and that is what you are to investigate. But please limit your findings to observable scientific phenomena.
We'll try to restrain ourselves.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
All right.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
So that was a neutral response.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
All right, time to run the diagnostic. Oops. Oops, if I actually have his fingers right on the button.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Characters that actually care about one another.
Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
All right, let's find out.
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Let's see.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
See if I can get it covered. There we go.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
And one more.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do it.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Okay, let's...
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate.
Let's check the navigational array.
Likely broken.
I'll check the navigation array.
Okay, it says your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal unseen. Use X to equip or holster your tricorder and hold the right trigger button to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen and see if you are too far away. Okay. Okay, some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use the left shoulder button and right shoulder button to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there is an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change color. Hold the left trigger to analyze the data and finish the scan. All right. Okay. Got this. Anything else? Got those already. Okay.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Isn't it romantic when you see a security officer in love with an engineer?
Hey.
Okay, that's all the saying I'm gonna do.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No, but I am glad you came by.
No, that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
Obviously, the captain's been working on the railroad all the livelong day.
Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
We got a deal.
Hey, I figured since we've already started the romance, might as well test our luck.
Be seeing you.
Etzelarda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav
Tokyo Trekker, good to see you.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data...
Yeah, right. Anytime somebody's fallen in love on Star Trek, they usually end up dying. Alright. How are you doing, Tokyo Trekker?
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle.
All right, brother.
Warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you stopping by, and when you leave for work, have a good day at work.
Field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
See what happens here.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
And Tokyo Trucker says, thanks, man. Thanks for streaming this. Probably going to end up buying this week. Got Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on a must-get list. All right, yeah. Tears of the Kingdom is another game I plan on buying at one point. With this game, I was looking forward to it coming out last year. Then, of course, they delayed it for over a year or even a little bit more, depending on when it was supposed to come out last summer. And I'm glad they did, because so far I haven't noticed any hiccups as far as game controls or even the frame rate. And I've actually watched a few streams of Tears of the Kingdom, and it looks like it's a very involved game.
We are honored you've come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
Okay.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation, the reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
And this must be the other faction.
This is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy?
Yes, she does.
I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
You would think so.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Gosh, Warcraft, that's a game I haven't played in years. Her Majesty the Queen.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of
Okay, I guess I can't go to the right.
Let's get on with it, shall we?
Okay.
Shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their
Hold on.
ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the...
What did my computer just do? Hopefully, no other program engaged and then ruined everything. Doesn't look like it, but it just blinked for a moment, and so now let's get everything back to the way it should be. All right.
immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced.
Yeah.
His point is well taken.
It's too bad I can't move to the right.
Federation's interest in this matter. Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not part
She
of...
can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
All right, let's see what my choices for interaction are here.
Now then, one should know their place. What you might be somewhere else is not what you are here. Which is standing before a queen. And a queen deserves respect. A bow is not too much to ask. Is Hotari Prime, heart of the Hotari system.
My apologies, Your Majesty. I meant no disrespect.
Better. You are Kobliad. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad
Bloody Cardassians.
is unimaginable, as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
You may be right. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No, it was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most.
Tokyo Trekkers say, you know, why is it so difficult to make good Trek nowadays? If you want 90s Trek again, we have to get it through games like this. And very extensive sets like in Picard Season 3. Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, why is it that a game that normally retails for $40 and is, with their current coupon is $29, but $32.01 with tax? I mean, how hard is it to write a good Star Trek story? This is more Star Trek than anything that we've received in the last several years.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without a Lydian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered.
I mean, could you just imagine seeing these two new alien species in live action?
That is enough of your lies. The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. Don't tell me. Who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Alidians?
What if I don't answer?
Only be one or the other, not both.
I'm going to see what happens if I don't answer. All right.
If there can only be one, then it would be in the best interest of all involved if the Alidians resumed operation of the mines.
And that is why we should not trust our fate to the Federation.
She speaks sense. You do well to listen to her.
And you do well to hold your tongue.
We will take back our minds by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
Yeah, I mean, you could see this species either appearing on DS9, coming from the Gamma Quadrant per se, or, you know, a species that Janeway and crew encounter in the Delta Quadrant.
Only the most essential representatives.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock. I think this is best left to those of us with more experience in diplomatic matters.
Well, she's pretty much been told, we don't want you in the meeting. It's up to the captain and Spock.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
And, you know, I get that this game won't appeal to everybody. But to Star Trek fans and anybody that likes good storytelling, I do believe that this game would appeal to them.
Soothing.
I'm gonna talk to them first.
Commander, after hearing so much about the Federation's sense of fairness and justice, I was surprised that you sided with the Alidians. In all honesty, I expected more, especially from someone like you.
Even though the Alidians should retain control, the Hotari have an equal claim and should share in the profits as partners.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Alidians.
Not seized, reclaimed, and restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there.
I mean, just imagine the makeup job that Michael Westmore and his staff could have done.
Realize their worst nightmares upon them.
I'm curious why the Elydians haven't fought back. They have the ability to retake the mines anytime they want.
Ability is one thing. Courage is another. The Elydians know any hostile action on their part will not end well. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship.
And hello, Rose. How are you doing this evening?
Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Elydians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
I wouldn't say state of the art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
Let's hope so. Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing them from wiping us off the map.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
See, Star Trek stories have always been character-driven. Star Trek stories don't need to be involved with heavy phaser fights and, explosions and special effects that take away from the story. No, it's all about the characters.
The assumption the Federation is neutral, but maybe I was wrong.
I can assure you, we aren't on anyone's side. We are and will remain completely neutral. You have my word.
I hope that's true. For all of our sakes. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down.
I hope you guys are liking this stream. Really appreciate everybody who's stopped by and everybody who's still here. Whether you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on YouTube.
I get the sense you don't exactly trust them.
I don't trust their instincts, which are leading us to war. My fear has been that the Elydians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has
Me too. Me too, Gap.
So maybe the Elydians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference.
One second, I just want to check over on the Twitch side real quick. I haven't seen anything in a little bit, and I want to make sure that if there is anybody there, that I'm not ignoring them, so I just paused the game for a moment.
Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
Oh, let's see.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But that's what concerns me. Whatever they're hiding, it can't be good.
How can we know?
Oh, she's being called away.
I'd better see what's happening.
Let me just check something. Let's see. Okay, so there's 2 empty spots.
Do you
All
think you
right.
can find out what they're hiding?
I was just curious to see if it would tell me anything.
I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Oh, so the commander's giving her tricorder.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured it might be useful if I offered another perspective.
By all means.
I have to say, I fully expected you to side with the Hotari, but obviously the Federation wants a steady supply of dilithium. Something only we can offer. Without Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. Left to the Hotari, it would be nothing short of a disaster.
Restoring the status quo and returning the mines to Lydian control offers a stability that can be mutually beneficial.
Well said. In that case, everyone wins, and there's no need for bloodshed.
Gotta take the diplomatic approach.
Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. A pleasure to meet you.
Commander Rydek, First Officer, USS Resolute.
Yes. A research ship, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption.
You know, it really does seem like those who were involved in making this game really took the time to study what a Star Trek story is all about.
But who am I to say otherwise?
You sound skeptical.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mine? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Oh, I definitely want to find out what's actually going on. So just look around, see if I can interact with anyone before I speak to the captain. Nope. All right, we can run. Good.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
I mean, it's like they not only studied,
Gravitational harmonics,
but they actually
warp bubble stability to
know what a Star Trek story is supposed to have.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
The scientific method.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get
So do we actually get to pilot the shuttle? Alright, fly the shuttle to your objective to complete a mission. Use right trigger to fly forward, left trigger to fly backward, use the right analog stick to turn, and the left analog stick to strafe. Well, let's see how bad of a pilot I am. Alright. I do not want to bump into the nacelle or the pylon.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And
I'm
Mr.
trying to
Diaz,
keep her stable.
Take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Well, I got an asteroid in front of me, so I don't want to run into that.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Don't take it personally, he's a Vulcan.
I just don't take it personally. At least I try not to.
That's a very mature answer. Shows a positive attitude on your part. Remind me of it when I start
Let's see.
talking to you about the ship's new first officer.
I'm trying to get underneath this asteroid, but it's too large. So, let's go this way. Let's go around it. All right. Almost there. 1 kilometer away. And we are to our waypoint.
Transporting the first probe into position.
All right. 1 probe deployed.
Westbrook.
Wonder if it lets me do the other ones.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem? I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Now that was interesting.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
Well, let's navigate to another position.
The Resolute and the probe. We've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there.
All right.
Listen.
I'm gonna be careful navigating through here, just like before.
Make sure you're never just.
All right.
Don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big.
Come on. Gotta get around the asteroid there.
Showed up. The captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Shovak, sure.
Well, if you're asking, I think you're a people person. After all, here we are. Me, an enlisted officer. You, one of the senior staff. Talking like old buddies.
I should send Solano to talk to you.
Bring him on.
I'm sure you can handle him. You've got potential.
Almost there. Just gotta make sure I don't run into the asteroid.
Work. Who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be commander-in-chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems command causes. Maybe I just save everybody some steps.
Well,
all right. Looks like we got a clear path for a little bit.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
And we're 1.6 kilometers away. We're almost there.
Here. This is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's not good.
It is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
All right. Okay. What's that? I continue to scan.
We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
All right. Check every which way. Yeah, we already found that. And there's that one. Anything near the planet? Yeah, they do look familiar. Okay, nothing happened there. Nothing's happening there. I'm just going to go all around the map until it triggers it again. Ooh, got something there. And got something there.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Now, look here. The current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
So now we're getting more bits of the story. Story development.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how...
Suspicions.
One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is...
Alright, Tokyo Trekker, I appreciate you coming by, brother.
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found...
And I understand not wanting to be spoiled, and
brought it back to the palace,
thank you.
keeping it under tight security.
This has been a great stream so far.
I gave her my tricorder.
You have a good day at work, brother.
Contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She's worried that her people are being dragged into something that isn't going to end well for them. She's trying to save them.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
That's the thing. It doesn't make sense to bring us here. Tylus said that Galvin and Sidron have restricted access to the mines, even to the Hotari. So they don't want anybody to learn what they've found.
Then calling in the Federation is a funny way of going about it. I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Arminta said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
I honestly feel like I'm watching an episode of Star Trek.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
I'll probably be saying that a lot more.
Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
What's that?
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It was hard to tell.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of this. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
All right.
Tyler suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Illydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We're, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. The mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
All right.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari.
Contaminant protocol.
Better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
All right. We have our task.
This warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
All right, let's go ahead and grab it. I'm gonna have him be professional. He's on duty.
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
All right.
Here, I'll help.
All right, let's remove the panel.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I know my stuff.
I can see that.
Just for a look.
Come on, start pulling chips.
All right, so looks like we're gonna have to pull some isolinear chips. Got some yellow ones, red, orange, green, and blue. All right. Carefully remove them. Oops, Butterfingers. What's that?
What's this?
That's what I said, Carter.
Crystal formation?
All right.
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level.
Got some technobabble.
What's it doing in there?
Now, why is he gonna pick it up with his bare hand?
364 subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364 subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device. Some kind of sabotage. Or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
Well, she's right.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels. We shouldn't do this alone.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. If you think you could do it without getting in trouble.
I'll find a way.
Be very careful.
Okay, stand back.
Yeah. Wait, why are they beaming it?
Get this to the containment.
What if it's an explosive and it's triggered by a transporter lock?
I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
The dematerialization and rematerialization of that crystal could cause it to explode. I know it didn't in the game script, but...
Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you. Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast. But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call? That was pretty out there. Although, you didn't seem to think so. She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Commander
Symbols
Ryder
and
was
legends.
behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydick, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Now I will tell you guys something.
Displaying symbols from
That
with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to
this is the part I had seen that actually connects it to a Next Generation episode. Let's go ahead and select a symbol. It's not Klingon. That's close. No. Let's see, what are my other choices? No. No. Alright. No, I don't see how that would connect. That's... No. Alright. Well, we know it's not the Klingons. Let's try this.
.2% match.
Got it.
I'll admit, the way I knew that was a symbol is because there's a thumbnail for this game on Epic Games that was taken at this point in the game, so that spoiled it.
600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takan technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takan is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
Actually, I've heard of the Takan.
You have?
Quite impressive, Commander.
Computer, summarize the Enterprise D's discovery of a Takan outpost.
On Stardate 41386.4, the USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi Ardu system.
So what this is already making a connection to is the last outpost, a first season episode of Next Generation.
Negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 63, Guardian.
And I don't have it set up on my voice mod app right now, but it's the episode where they encounter the Ferengi and both ships keep losing power, getting power back, but they can't escape orbit. And there's a scene in the episode where Riker yells, "Anybody!" So let's go ahead.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy, but it is not understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 63.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence.
The Ferengi Marauder.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 63.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
All right.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, What else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Takan used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then-current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Takan technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
All right. Last one.
Someone from the Takan Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy-draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization.
Making connections to previous events.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Takan technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
For now, it's probably best we don't let on how much we know.
Play our cards close to the vest. Smart. I agree. Then when the time is right, we can confront them.
Diplomatically, of course.
Right.
We've been able to triangulate the source of...
Here, I'm just going to pause it real quick because I need to refresh. Okay, that's working good. Just need to check a couple other things and then I'll resume. Let's see. Just checking just to make sure everything's keeping up to date, because I've had times, as you all know, when I've streamed in the past where it doesn't keep up on Streamlabs, and that's been frustrating. So let's go ahead and resume the game.
Interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
I don't know if it's revealed all the characters that are in this game.
What the Hotari are hiding, to better understand what we're up against, and to neutralize it if we can.
I'm hoping there's a couple of surprises at least.
The Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. Which is why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission to Tau. Assuming you're up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'm ready for action, Captain. Just say the word and I'll be there.
I'll admit, I wish I could go myself. I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality and aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Tylus will be essential to my success. Not only her knowledge of the mines, but her ability to gain access, particularly now that we know which mine we need to get into.
Make sure she understands the need to keep this covert.
She's not going to want her people to know about this.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements as discreetly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Elydians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime. Doing so will provide Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
So yeah, if my calculations are correct, because they said that, you know, the last outpost took place 15 years before the events of this game, then this is shortly after the Dominion War. Lost and found.
Officers Diaz and Edsolar, where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there. They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
What?
Miranda never got there?
She's the one that had the crystal formation?
Yeah, her and the rest of the security detail from the negotiations.
Diaz, Tamaris.
Try her again.
Carter Diaz to Miranda Maris.
She's not responding.
Commander Westbrook to Petty Officer Miranda Maris. Respond.
This isn't good.
She's still on the ship. She has to be.
Computer, locate Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
Petty Officer Miranda Maris is in the isolinear storage array on Deck 5.
I'll go find her.
Good.
So she's near the main computer core.
I am sure Mr. Diaz can attend to this on his own.
What's she up to? I mean, that's computer core right there. All right, Miranda, what are you up to?
Someone improperly pulled these isolinear chips.
I don't like this. What are these isolinear chips doing on the floor? I do not like this. I enter silently. There's someone here. And me without a phaser. At least I would be able to stun whoever it is in here. Miranda.
What the?
What's she doing?
Oh, it's just you. I'm busy right now. Why don't you come back later?
I called you on the comm badge. Twice. Commander Westbrook, too. Why didn't you answer?
Oh, I guess I was just caught up in my work. But I'm through here.
What did she transfer?
So I can't stay and chat. I have other things to do. Sorry you came all this way for nothing.
But hold on a second. Commander Westbrook said the crystal formation we found in the shuttle never made it to the containment lab. He sent me to find you.
I don't know why he'd say that. I brought the crystals to the lab myself. Whatever he told you, he got it wrong. All I know is where I left them.
If that's the case, let's both go down there and find them. It's that simple.
I don't have time
Yep.
for that. I have work.
Exactly, Gap.
I appreciate that you came to check on me, but I'm fine.
No, you're not.
We're on a starship. Nothing's gonna happen to me here.
I'm worried because you're acting strange. One minute you're citing regulation to take the crystals, and now you don't seem to care that they've gone missing. And what are you even doing in here?
Will you drop it? I don't like being interrogated, Carter.
All right. We need to call security and get her to the brig.
I'm getting some very mixed signals from you right now.
And I'm getting some very mixed signals from you too.
I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress right now.
Oh, I don't buy that. What about you?
Where the crystals are, and let me
What
know
about you all? Do you buy it?
I know we have some things to figure out. I don't have time to stand around and debate with you.
I don't know what it is, but you're hiding something. What's in that storage drive?
It's secure data. It doesn't concern you.
Miranda, hold on.
No. Get out of my way.
Whoa. This is a security matter.
So I see you found each other.
You were taking so long, the commander sent us to see what the problem was. Diaz?
Miranda's the
you sent out
problem.
Specific orders, and fighting your crewmate wasn't one of them. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just let them explain.
I'd like to hear that, because I know what it looks like.
She attacked me.
That's ridiculous.
And tried to get away with this. She was copying data onto it. I caught her in the act.
This drive is unauthorized.
There are ISOs all over the floor.
And that's why I was in here, investigating this situation.
You lie.
They came looking for me. We got our wires crossed. It wasn't anything more than that.
Even if that was true, it still doesn't answer what happened to the crystal formation that she took. And she isn't helping.
I can't tell you what I don't know. I brought them where they belonged, and that's where I left them.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think we need to call it into security.
Yep.
She can explain herself in the brig.
Hold on a minute. We don't need to put this on anyone's permanent record. Miranda, maybe you're feeling out of sorts and we should head to sickbay so the doc can check you out?
No, she's suspect.
Yeah, I haven't felt right since I came back from Hotari. I think I should see.
That's a cop-out excuse.
You two know her? If you really think she's not well, we can take her to sickbay first. But what I know.
No, we could take her to the brig and have a medical officer examine her in the brig.
Go see the doctor.
She did have a bumpy ride back on the shuttle.
This is Petty Officer Diaz. I need a security team to Deck 5.
This is unbelievable.
Okay, so it showed a neutral response, so... You know, that's the thing about games like this. It all depends on your choices. I know they say make good choices, but in games like this, you want to see what sort of outcome your different choices actually make during the long run of the game. What lies beneath? All right. Gotta find Tylus. I'm alone here on this rocky planet. I gotta find somebody.
Rydick here.
This is Irma. Any trouble getting to the surface?
I'm really starting to miss transporters.
As long as this storm is around, you'd better learn to like shuttles. But if you can find the cause of the interference, we might be able to get back to transporting.
As if I needed another incentive. We both know there's a lot more than that riding on this.
Fair enough. You'll need to get in and out of the mine undetected, so I hope Minister Tylus can help in that regard.
So
I hope so too. Otherwise, we're in deep trouble.
Contact unless absolutely necessary.
Understood. Rydick out.
All right. Gotta get over there so we can crouch. Nice, we can crouch now. Now we can go sneaky. I know, Gap. I know you're gonna start laughing because you know just as well as I do when it comes to being sneaky.
The ionic interferences coming from underground. I should find a safer way down there.
All right, let's try to find another way down there. Okay, we can't go there. We gotta go straight ahead. Oh, there's the signal. Jump down. And now we move forward.
I saw your shuttle take off. Hopefully no one else did. It's good to see you. Even under these unfortunate circumstances.
You came alone?
Of course, why wouldn't I have?
We've recently discovered a great deal of deception on the part of the Hotari. Can't be too careful.
Well, I suppose I can't fault you for that. Though I thought I'd earned a little more faith by now.
Lead the way. I'll fill you in on what we've learned about the situation.
Follow me.
All right. Let's get to our point of interest.
Sidron brought back from the mines is being used to control some sort of warp disruption weapon that has the Resolute trapped in Hotari space. According to our readings, the power source for that device is on this moon, at the specific coordinates I sent you.
That sounds impossible. But explains the rumors of the Hotari controlling the ionic storm.
We strongly suspect the device was created by an ancient empire known as the Takan.
The Takan?
Once the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, but they've been gone for over 600,000 years.
It's hard to believe there's something like that on Tau.
Which is why I need proof. If we find hard evidence that Galvin and his allies are hiding dangerous Takan technology, I can convince the Federation to let us intervene.
Understood. We're almost there.
All right. So, since we're about 3 hours and 4 minutes in, I want to hear everybody's overall thoughts on the game. What you like, what you don't like about it.
That's the mine?
Prospect 614 North, Subdivision 20.
It's enormous.
Just one of the thousands across Tau. The pride of Hotari.
How do we get inside?
The structure that circles the mine has entry points for transporting equipment into the lower levels. They're guarded, but nothing I can't get past using my authority.
Well, that's good to hear.
As long as you can avoid being seen, I should be able to talk my way past any miner. And provide a little distraction for you in the process.
How do I avoid being seen?
You don't use the door.
That's one way.
How dare you! Don't you know who I am? I am Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
That's not...
The Queen would be furious to hear you tried to deny me entry.
The Queen? But I just...
You just what? Just now realize the
Yeah.
trouble you've made for yourself? And who exactly do you think you're going to report this to? Because I'll be reporting it as well, to someone much further up the ladder. You have no authority here. Do you understand who pays your wage? I can inform the Queen directly in this instance. You'll regret everything you've said here today. You should have opened the door.
I need to find an area to scan.
That's not the protocol. I didn't know
Each second you delay my entry will be recorded, processed, and permanently marked on your record. Can't believe this. Does your brain function? Do you speak our tongue?
Minister, I have orders.
How could a fellow Hotari not understand this? You're digging your own grave. I've reached the end of my...
What do I have to scan?
Escort me to the maintenance bay.
I told you I can't just...
Now.
But fine.
A wise choice. Lead the way. Be quick.
Trying to see what I'm supposed to scan here. Wait, I saw something. In there. What am I missing? Alright, let's get over here again. It's gotta be something. Yeah, I'm holding right trigger to scan, but it's not picking up anything. No, I can only use the X button and scan button. Anything over here that I'm supposed to scan, maybe? Wait, what was that? It's on the floor. Scan the floor, maybe. Okay. I mean, there's got to be something here that I'm supposed to scan, and I'm pressing the right trigger button to scan, but nothing's happening. All right. Nothing there. So let me look around here and see. Wait, what do we got here?
Let's get a look inside you.
Okay. Biological scan. Chemical scan. Got something here, so. Okay. All right. What else do we have? All right.
Full system
Got it.
access. Let's see if I can just... Bingo.
Builds down. Yep.
Better hurry. Not sure how long she can keep him busy.
What I got here? I'd have to get closer. Okay, we got a door here.
Might be rigged to only open for registered users. No control panel here. I should take a look with my tricorder.
Oh, what do we got? Try to get closer to that if I can. There we go. Even the tricorder is telling me.
Something in here is keeping that door closed.
All right. There we go.
Got it. Should remove the security check on the door.
Now we should be able to get through. I did everything right. Yep. There we go. Just took it a while to trigger it. Alright, gotta find Tylus. Gotta get down there, apparently. Let's go over here. I don't know if running's the best option. Might draw attention to myself. And that's something we don't need. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
I didn't come here to educate an imbecile on royal protocol.
Of course not, Minister.
So I will be about my business here, and you will take yourself out of my sight. There you are.
You really let that guy have it.
It worked, didn't it? I'm used to having to throw my weight around. Hard to get anyone to listen to you otherwise.
I'm impressed. I didn't know you had it in you.
There's a lot you don't know about me. Underestimate me at your peril.
The catwalks were booby-trapped.
Galvin and Sidron have gone to great lengths to keep out the uninvited. Well, we're inside. Where do you want to start?
The ionic interference is coming from below us. We need to go deeper.
That lift goes down, at least to the changeover station. But we can't use it without DNA authorization from one of the guards.
I have
Oh,
an idea.
let's get some DNA
We need
samples.
a few samples of DNA from the miners who work here.
Samples.
Fingerprints, sweat, blood.
Which will trick the machine and get us control of the lift.
That's the theory. Let's test it.
All right, use your tricorder to collect Otari DNA samples. Well, nothing there. We got here.
No luck. Unless this console thinks I'm a Hotari guard, it won't work.
I just wanted to try that just
Building back there.
to try it.
Might have some DNA.
See? It's a possibility. Check this console right back here.
There's DNA on this console, but it's only partial. I can't use this.
Maybe because we're outside.
The weather out here could dilute any DNA samples.
What about inside that structure? That's where the workers spend most of their time.
Good idea.
All right. Just thought I'd go ahead and open up the tricorder, see what I can find here.
I can use this.
All right. All right. There's got to be something else scanned too. It's not letting me exit out of the tricorder mode. Aha!
That's a stable DNA sample. It's only partial, but a few more should do it.
All right. What have we got here?
There's gotta be stable DNA here.
All right. Okay.
Good. That's another I could use. Just need one more sample.
Nothing's coming up on there. Keep looking around with my tricorder. That's what we already did. Aha!
Not concentrated enough. I should try somewhere else.
Alright, gotta keep looking high and low. Anything else that pops up green, like over here.
Wow, that is a lot of DNA. I should look for the most concentrated spots. Hygiene clearly isn't a priority down here.
Yeah, nothing's popping up green there. Already scanned that. Anything else? Go into this room here. Yep.
This'll work.
still gotta find another sample. It won't let me leave until I do. Already scanned that. And I am changing stuff. There we go.
Perfect. That's enough to make the DNA profile. Time to go back to the lift.
All right. We got enough.
You're not coming inside?
There are some things I'd rather not smell.
Ah.
Let's go over here.
An Illidian console.
All the managerial technology in the mines is Illidian.
So they can keep an eye on their investment.
That's how it is.
All right. Let's get over to the console that's over here. Let's look at this first.
What's in all these containers?
These contain mining supplies, tools, energy packs for machinery.
Shouldn't mining supplies be inside the mines?
It is troubling. If the workers here aren't mining...
Anything else that I need to scan? Or use my DNA sample to operate? Alright, let's get over here.
Do you think we could just find a way to climb over this?
Possibly. But the console on the lift itself is locked by the same system that locks this ramp.
No shortcuts then.
I'm sure you can figure something out.
There we go.
It worked. Theory proven.
I'll get it started.
Ready?
All right, here we go.
I'm a little afraid of what we might find down there.
We'll be okay. I've survived worse than this.
Well, I haven't. But I'll put my faith in you. For now.
That sounded ominous. Maybe it's just me, but that sounded ominous. Saying she'll put her faith in me for now.
Stay back. There's a guard at the station. We'll have to hide.
All right, fine. I'll go hide. Ah, crap. No, I'm not gonna go Rambo it.
What are you doing here?
You watch your tone with me. I'm Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs. I speak for the Queen herself.
This is a restricted area. No one gains access without the approval of Galvin or Sidron.
Wait.
Jues Gawad Abawincha.
Are you all right?
That wasn't Rambo in it. She was in trouble, and I helped her.
Are you injured?
No, I thought if I could talk my way through like always, I'd be fine, but... I'm a diplomat. This isn't what I do. I've never even fired a weapon. This is just... It's real now. I wasn't ready for this.
Hey, I'll keep you safe.
Can you?
I was a tactical officer before I was posted to the Resolute. I know my way around a phaser. You saw how I handled our large friend here.
I suppose that is somewhat...
Yeah, it did.
My authority has never been challenged like that. It meant nothing to him.
So we should assume any Hatari we encounter from here on can't be reasoned with.
Agreed. The only loyalty they have down here is to Galvin and Sidron.
Can you switch over the lift?
The guard should have a scan card that will allow us to operate the switch.
And I think that's it right there.
Got it.
I just stuck out like a sore thumb.
He's not dead, is he?
No, only stunned.
He's still one of my people, and I didn't come here to take Otari lives.
My phaser's set to stun. He'll be perfectly fine, just unconscious for a while.
I see. We don't have that sort of technology on our weapons.
Good to know.
Yep, once they shoot you, you're dead. It reminded you of Rambo, but there was no Rambo in it in this case.
The energy readings are emanating from this tunnel. It's sure to be guarded in there. Stay low and follow my lead.
All right. Gotta be careful.
Is that all dilithium?
Not all of it. We excavate large chunks of rock that contain varying amounts of dilithium ore. It's sorted and processed at the collector ship above.
A little bit of stutter in there, but nothing too major. Are we being watched?
More guards.
I take that as a sign we're getting close.
I'll get a closer look. Looks like they've improvised a barrier.
Yes, we must be getting closer.
Well, at least nobody's climbing El Capitan. We need to get that.
We need that particular card, don't we?
I'm afraid so.
Well, we don't want to go in firing.
We don't have time to wait for them to finish whatever they're doing. We'll have to try to keep low and sneak past them.
I'm starting to see the utility of a phaser.
I wouldn't stand a chance against all three of them.
All right, and there's the security door.
Not without that scan card.
I don't like our options here. I have to get us that card so we can open the door.
How? If they detect you, Galvin and Sidron's followers are clearly willing to kill to protect whatever is in this mine.
Hey, I'm trained for this. I'll be fine.
What should I do?
Avoid being seen. Stick to the edge of the room and meet me at the door.
All right, now we gotta use stealth. And this is where I must use stealth, otherwise we're screwed. All right, gotta stay crouched. Can't let them see me. All right.
It's coming along.
All right. Get over here. Okay. I gotta get past this guy.
We wish the Lydians would try something else. They saw our power, our resolve. They're terrified of us. Until the plan is complete, we're vulnerable. Then get back to work, and we'll complete the plan more quickly.
I've gotta be careful.
Good.
I get past this guy. Alright. I'm going this way. Be mindful of my surroundings. Oh, let's go. Go, go, go. Before anyone. Alright. That guy's there. That guy's there. I can't move. Shit.
Someone's here. You're finished.
Ah, dang it.
Avoid being seen. Stick to the edge of the room and meet me at the door.
Well, that's the first death in the game. I'm 3 hours and 3.5 hours into the game, and I just now died. That's a record for me.
This Elydian technology is such a hassle.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I wish the Elydians would try something else. They saw our power, our resolve. They're terrified of us. Until the plan is complete, we're vulnerable. Then get back to work, and we'll complete the plan more quickly.
All right.
This requires too many inputs.
Got to be careful here. Ah, dang it. I am not retrying in story mode.
Stick to the edge of the room and meet me at the door.
All right. This time, I'm gonna get through it. That's twice now in 3.5 hours. Which is a record for me in a game. Gotta use stealth. Yeah, you walk there. I'm gonna try to get past you as quickly as possible.
They saw our power, our resolve. They're terrified of us. Until the plan is complete, we're vulnerable.
Yeah, that was.
And we'll complete the plan more quickly.
All right. Can't let him see me.
Taste our victory. This requires too many inputs.
All right, so when he goes there, I'm gonna go slip by. Now. Ah, dang it. I didn't check my surroundings.
Stick to the edge of the
3
room
times.
and meet me at the door.
3 consecutive times. All right, take 4. And I can't blame anybody but myself. All right.
Soon we'll be in control.
All right. I need him to walk by again. You don't see nothing. You don't hear anything. There's not just a random Starfleet officer snooping around.
They're terrified of us. Until the plan is complete, we're vulnerable. Then get back to work, and we'll complete the plan more quickly.
All right, gotta be careful. Gotta make sure that when I go, big guy here doesn't notice me.
Almost complete.
All right.
I can taste our victory.
This way. Got the security key again.
Who's there?
Nobody.
Nothing. How long is Galvin going to make us wait? I'm not worried. He's led us well so far. It's a miracle we're even here. We've been waiting for so long. Patience, brother. We'll get our chance. It's inevitable after all. That it is.
Well. Oh. Hello. That made some noise. They might be aware that you're in there now.
Stay close.
I told you I could get through it.
Stop!
What?
Motion sensors. They'll trigger an alarm. We'll be found.
Invisible to the naked eye.
They could be anywhere. How will we get through?
All right. Let's see, what can I scan? I don't want to trigger them, but I also don't want to do anything stupid. All right. Gotta be careful. It's not letting me scan anything. I'm gonna crouch. Slowly. Shit! Dang it!
No!
I didn't want her to get up and scan. I just wanted her to stay in the crouch and scan. Like the game said I could.
Stop!
What?
Motion sensors. They'll trigger an alarm. We'll be found.
Invisible to the naked eye.
They could be anywhere. How will we get through?
We'll be fine. Go through it slowly. Crouch when we need to crouch. And make sure we don't trigger the sensors. All right. Yeah. I gotta crouch. Very careful. Very, very careful. Not to get too close. There we go. Yeah, there is something fishy going on down here. Yep. Oh man. They're committing massacres. Damn.
This.
It's where the uprising started.
Now the Federation has to get involved.
Otari, don't
And not in the
do this. We
diplomatic
defend ourselves, but
form.
We don't kill on this scale, this level of savagery.
There's no such thing as a bloodless rebellion.
I don't know if we should keep going. So much death. I don't want to end up like them.
We'll make sure they didn't die for nothing. What we learn here could save the rest of your people.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever happened here, it made the Illydians abandon the mines. Let's find out what they're so scared of.
All right.
Otari and Illydian. Both sides took a beating. The Hatari fortified the side of the room opposite the door. It's a good tactic, but a few crates aren't going to stop fully armed Illydian soldiers.
Nope.
How did they win?
It can't go that way, so let's...
Is this the effects of an Illydian disruptor?
Yes.
Disruptors are cruel weapons. These crystalline particles, they're not dilithium. Are they common in the mines?
Not that I've ever seen.
Let's get a scan if we can. Unfortunately, we can't. All right. Well, let's go this way.
From the blast marks, it looks like the Illydians had far greater firepower.
Committed as murders.
What kind of weapon did this?
This is like nothing I've ever seen or heard of. My people don't have a weapon that does this.
What else can you tell me?
Yeah, I was gonna scan it, don't worry. All right, what else we gotta scan? Going through the different ones, radiation, bio, and chemical. Gotta be something else. Yeah, it's not letting me put it in the holster until I scan whatever it wants me to scan. So, gotta look around. Nothing there. Alright, gotta keep looking. So I only got 1 out of 3 apparently. So what's the other one? Nothing there. I'm cycling through the different ones just to see if anything pops up during my scans. So far, nothing. But I've only got 1 out of 3, according to what Tricord is telling me. Alright. I can't holster it. Yeah, that's what I already scanned, so... Alright. Back off. And it's holster the tricorder. Yeah. Okay. We got 1 more to meet. Here, I'm just gonna do this in case I end up seeing them just cycle through everything. No. Okay. It won't let me. Why won't it let me? Thank you to everybody for being here, and so I try to figure out what I'm supposed to scan next. Alright, because I'm trying to put it in the holster, but it won't let me. Okay. Oh, it's not responding. That's weird. Alright, come on. That's weird. Stop responding. Well, you know what? I probably should end up stopping the stream here in a little bit anyway. But I want to try something real quick. No. It's locked up on me. All right. Well, I guess I should end the stream right here, but I do want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to thank Suitable Substrate over on the Twitch side for following the Pacific Forum 4 Twitch channel. I greatly appreciate it. Now to thank each and every one of you over on the YouTube side, starting with Gap After Dark. Thank you, Gap. We also had Tokyo Trekker. Thank you, Tokyo. Nighthawk was here as well, as was Leah Rose. We also had an appearance by Phil McCracken and Alan Copeland. And let's see. Already mentioned Nighthawk. Whoopa Trooper was here. Yeah, this did fly by. DJ Ronnie G was here. And let's see. Apollome's Minion was here as well, and the Padawannabe was here on the YouTube side, as was Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Well, thank you everybody for watching this. Sorry it had to end this way with the game locking up, but you know, almost 4 hours into it, I'm surprised it took this long. So, again, thank you all. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you liked what you saw here with the stream. And I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow on the YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Eastern will be Pacific Forum 4 Pop Talk. It'll be an open panel, but we'll also be celebrating the YouTube channel reaching over 400 subscribers. So thank you all very much. I greatly appreciate your support. I greatly appreciate everybody who follows the Twitch channel, subscribes to the YouTube channel. You're all great. And just remember, I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all-around guy. Take care, everyone.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no